The first thing I'd like to know is what happened here today.
All my bases here.
And at first, why don't you tell our viewers of Why Not News who you are and why you're here?
You know what I'm
Diane Baker, Reverend Diane Baker, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. And we've met before, so it's a joy to see you here. We came over from lobbying, and we were in the FISA meeting, so had a full day, and then came over here and knew that we were to stand outside the parameters of the park, the green area, and we're also told that if we didn't speak, we could go on the green grass. And so I took off my impeach shirt and just had on my clergy shirt and basically just looked like a clergy person and stood there for a long time and listened. And it was scary because it looked like a bunch of brown shirts, looked like Nazi Germany very much so. And at one point somebody said something and I raised my hand in a peace sign. And apparently they had been watching for a long time. And a policeman came out and took my arm and said, you need to come to the side now. And I said, why? And he said, you need to come to the side or you'll be arrested. And I said, I don't understand. I haven't spoken a word. And he said, you were protesting. And I said, this is a sign of peace and love. And I wasn't protesting. And he said, ma'am, you're going to be arrested if you don't come with me. And I said, then he said, I'm only doing what I was told to do. And I said, almost with tears in my eyes, I said, I'm very sorry that we live in a country where you have to carry out orders like this. And it reminds me of another country that I lived in, Germany.
Just following orders.
Yes, I lived there for 16 years. It's exactly the same. And he couldn't make eye contact with me after that. So that was what personally happened to me. Others were arrested there, others spoke out, and listened, and many people speak. There's a lot of rhetoric. One young man I watched on the sidelines and he kicked the tree. There was so much frustration. So I wish there could be a spirit of hearing, listening. I fear for our country if we don't come to that point. Listen.
Well, thank you very much. Saturday. Well, will you tell us about what happened Saturday and why you were here in D.C. and what happened to you?
I came intentionally to be part of the march and to do civil disobedience. I think it's so important to stand up for the truth. If we don't do that, we have nothing to stand for. And I did come to a point of being able to lie down and then to climb over the wall, which is not easy for me. I'm older and I have muscle deteriorating disease, so
struggle to climb the wall.
It was a struggle, but you know something, I was helped by two vets, and they helped me over. The moment I got to the top of the wall, two policemen in rubber garbs that reminded me of the, what do you call that?
It's like stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers just pulled me over, put me on my stomach, face down, and
They forced you to the ground?
Yes.
I couldn't imagine that you were resisting in any way that was threatening them.
No.
Did it seem excessive to you? Force was used against you?
I don't remember that, to be honest.
So how did the arrest go? What happened from that point?
From that point, they handcuffed me, as they did others, and I was taken up. Without the spirit of Jeff Malloy, Jeff, you know Jeff. I don't think many of us would have been able to make it through that time. We were under arrest in the bus for 7 hours, and then in jail for 14 hours or 15 hours, and without food, and hands 7 hours.
You were cuffed for the entire time?
Only for 7 hours, but that's quite a long time. And,
that seems a little excessive.
It's excessive. And humor.
And so what was your reason for the civil disobedience? What were you there to say?
I was there to say we have to end this war because it's changing the culture of the Middle East. It's changing the culture of our country, our nation. We need to bring our troops home now to save their lives and the lives of so many Iraqi people. Their lives, their culture is being ended. And so much of it is based on fear.
So, after experiencing what you experienced of being thrust to the ground and cuffed and then held in cuffs for over 7 hours without being given food or water, do you believe it was worth it, and would you do it again?
Yes, I would. Today, tomorrow, anytime. And I believe there are so many other Americans that would do the very same thing if they knew the costs that are being given every single day. If they could look into the faces of the vets that are over there and come back.
Thank you very much. Okay, sir, will you tell us who you are and what's going on where we are right now?
My name is Nicholas Kakovich. I'm from Bristol, Rhode Island, and we're out here today just lobbying certain representatives about pulling our troops out of Iraq, and there happened to be this talk right here, which is, I'm not sure necessarily the name of the organization, but people that believe we should continue the occupation and continue funding the war. And unfortunately, they had about 6, 7 representatives speaking, and it was really bothersome, the terminology the representatives used, really just not saying much, but focusing on phrases such as strength, we have to defeat our enemies or we'll lose. And one particular disturbing thing, they started linking Al-Qaeda and Iran in the same sentence, saying we have to defeat Al-Qaeda and Iran. So it was really disturbing.
And then what did you witness? Was there some sort of arrest here, I heard?
Yeah, there was some arrests. The police instructed us. It was kind of funny because of some of the senators that were talking were saying that, you know, pointing to us, saying that's why we're fighting, to fight for these people's freedom. And a few minutes later, a few women over here were arrested for chanting things, and then one woman was arrested for reading the Constitution aloud.
Wow, that seems strange to us at Why Not News, how you could possibly be arrested in our nation's capital for reading the Constitution. Does that seem odd to you as a bypasser?
It does seem odd to me. It was kind of funny because there's 2 tourists from Eastern Africa here, and they're like, what's going on? We're telling, oh, those are the people that like war, these people that want peace. And they're like, oh, all right. And then they couldn't understand why the lady was getting arrested for reading the Constitution. They're like, aren't we in Washington, D.C., the capital? I'm like, yeah, but that was a really eye-opening experience.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your experiences with us at Why Not News.
Woo, Why Not News?